Welcome to another Blackjack Dave video and moving forward your journey to being a better Blackjack player and an AP player. I am Blackjack Dave and I love to play Blackjack, talking about Blackjack and sharing the correct way to play Blackjack with others. I'll be playing 10 hands. 3 of the hands I'm going to play not according to basic strategy. The rules of the game are hit on saw 17, no surrender, only split aces once, and double after split. 3 hands that will not play correctly, or 3 hands I see not played correctly, often and cost you the most in terms of lost money. Let's get started and see if you can find the 3 hands I did not play correctly. Okay, our first hand is we have a pair of 9s against a dealer 6. What do we do? Stand, hit, split. Well, this is a pretty easy one. One might think to stay, right? Because the 6 is a bust card, but no. You want to put more money out because you got a good chance of winning. So we're going to split. I'm going to grab some chips. There we go. I slide a card underneath there. And we're going to play out the hand. But remember, win or lose, splitting is the right play. The result of one hand does not make a winning blackjack player. We play a hand for the long term, meaning many scenarios of that hand. So best play here is to split the 9s. 19, it's a good hand. 14 against a 6, I'm going to stay. Got a 16. Busted. So I win both hands. Again, don't care if we win or lose here. It's how to play the hand for the long term. All right. Again, we have a pair of 9s, this time against a 10. In this scenario, what should you do? Should we hit, split, or stand? Obviously, we don't want to hit. I think that one's down the table. So it really comes down to, do we stand 18 against a 10, or do we split? Now, I would agree the chance of winning 18 against a 10 is not in your favor. However, if we split, the best we could hope for is 2 aces. That'd be a 20. Even if we got 2 10s, we're still at 19. So you only want to put more money out when the odds are in your favor of winning. Here, splitting, the odds are not in our favor of winning. So stay on the 18 or double 9s against a 10. Let's see what we get. 20, we would have lost. Again, results of this hand don't matter. I did not set these hands up, but this is the way you play double 9s against a 10, dealer 10. All right, once again, we have a pair of 9s, this time against a dealer 7. What should we do? Choices are stay, hit, or split. Now we know if it's a 6 or a 5 or a 4 or a 3 or a 2, we would split. That's what basic strategy tells us to do. If it was an 8 or a 9, what would you do? We know when it's a 10, we don't. What about an 8 or 9? Let's get back to the 8 or 9, but right now let's focus on the 7. Pair of 9s against the 7. What would you do? Well, if you want to be a winning blackjack player for the long term, you would stay. Because really the best, you're hoping you get 17, right? Or less. 13, 16, 17. And you win. Again, I didn't set this up. We won. Glad we did it. But again, long term is what we care about. Let's go back to a 9 being out there. 9 or an 8. I don't care. There's a 9 out there. Let's pretend it's an 8 or a 9. Doesn't matter. What would you do? Again, if you want to be a winning blackjack player against an 8 or a 9, you would split. Let's see how that works out. 12, 13, 15, 18. 12, 14, 16. That's too many. So we lost that one. Let's see what we get here. 11, not looking too good for us. 16, looking better for us now. 17. So we broke even. And that's going to be our end with 9s. Very misplayed hand in blackjack, splitting 9s. And when you have a pair of 9s, what do you do? All right, our next hand. Player has 8 and a 3 for an 11 against a dealer's 9. On a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 being easy, 5 being difficult, I give this a 2. Double. And if you watch previous videos, while the rules of blackjack allow you to double for less, I say never do that. So I'm going to double, take a card. Not bad. Gives me 18. Not so great, but not bad. And 17. Got a winner. All right. Let's see. Let's take just a random 2 cards here. I take that back. Take 1 random card. And give me an ace here. And again, a little more difficult now. 11 against an ace. Let's remove this. Now, what do you do? Well, if you want to be a winning blackjack player, that's a double. Let's see what I get. 18, 5 or 15, 17 or 7, 12, 19. So that's a loser, but it's the correct way to play the game. All right, now I have a 12 against a dealer's 9. Should be an easy decision. Oh, let me put my bet out there. There we go. 8 against a 4, against a 9. That's 12 against a 9. I'm going to hit that. 19. Stay. 19. So we push. All right. Let's get rid of those cards there. Keep that 12. And let me find a 3. Now a little more difficult because 3 is kind of a bust card. And we got 12 against a 3. Remember, we're not counting cards, so we don't know what the true count is. But 12 against a 3, just doing basic strategy. That is a hit. Mustorama. Yep, that's the price you pay for playing it correctly. but that is the right play. If this was a 2, what would you do? You would hit. If it's a 4, you stay. So 12, very, very misplayed a lot of times when I'm at the tables. Got to have some balls to play blackjack. All right. Now, one of my favorite hands down in blackjack is an A7 or soft 18. And one of the reasons I love this hand is there's so many different ways to play this hand correctly. So let me bring back, I could be a little bit, let me give you a little about myself. I could be a little bit of an a-hole. I think it's funny. Other people say it's an a-hole. But let me tell you a little story. And you can tell me this is funny or me being an a-hole. So at a dinner party with my friends, and my friend's wife, Kelly, goes, somehow we got on the topic of finances, and she makes a comment, I'm very involved in the house finances. Now, Kelly has no clue, in my opinion, what her house finances are. So I made a remark and said, hey, Kelly, that's good that you're involved, but I'm surprised. Can you tell me your monthly mortgage payment and or how much you owe on the house? Now, you would think anyone involved in their house finances would know that easy answer, right? The house, more likely, is their most expensive expense, or their highest expense, and more likely their greatest asset. Did Kelly know the answer to either question? No. So this is when I like to ask people that tell me they know how to play blackjack, and I say, well, oh, I love blackjack. How do you play A7 or soft 18? And I say, do you hold? Do you double? Do you stay? Do you hit? And most answers I get are, it kind of depends, but I generally hold. That is not the right answer. Let's go over a couple of scenarios on how the best way to play A7. All right. Then we'll start with an easy one. 18 against a 10. Well, that's the 18 is not really a winning hand in blackjack. I think I've gone over another video where I told you 18 loses X percentage of the time. And so you'd want to hit that because really you can't bust. So A7, so we got 7 or 17. We threw a card underneath there. And now we got 17. Now we have to stay. 18. We put some chips, so I just take them away. So we lost that one. All right. Let's keep with our A7. But now we have a 6. So you might say, well, this is another easy one, Dave. We're going to stay because 6 is a bust card. It is. And since it's the highest bust card, you want to put some money out there, be a little aggressive. You can't bust. So I'm not going to say just to hit or stay. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm doubling on that. So let's put another card here. Put it out there. Look at, that would look good for a second there, but I got a whopping 12. So hopefully we bust. 16, looking pretty good. Yep. So we win that hand. I don't have enough chips to pay myself, but we win the hand. All right, let's take this away. Here we go. Let's use that 4. All right. So now we have an A7 against a 4. What are we going to do? Same scenario. We're going to double that one down. Let's take that 4 away. Let's be our last example. And let's make that a 7. So we got 18 against the 7. What are you going to do? Gonna stay? Gonna double? Gonna hit? Here, the best play is to stay. And 18. We lose. No, we push. Well, thanks a lot for watching this video. The next video, I'm going to do the same as that scenario, but I'm going to make it with deviations. If you're a card counter, I know I'm kind of really skipping ahead, but I thought it'd be nice to make a little higher end video. And there are deviations there are deviations or times when you deviate from what basic strategy says based on the running count or the true count of the cards. So we're going to do the same scenario based knowing what the true count is. So please watch that one. Again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like. Until then, hope you get lots of blackjacks.